just to start, your new album, very exciting. Talk to me about where the inspiration came from Dreams to Dream, where that album name also came from.
Yeah, I think I stumbled across the name of the album just based off a point in my life after 20 years of making music and being really successful and grateful for all of that. I kind of was like, well, what's next? There was always, what's the next song? What's the next goal? And I think sometimes you can lose sight of like your dreams of just like living a great life and I hadn't really said a lot of that in my music. So this was a kind of a moment for me to say that and create a record that I'd never really created before and go out to Los Angeles and kind of get away from where I was comfortable. And so long answer to your short question, that's kind of where the name came from. I realize at this point in my life, I still have dreams and I'm living and dreaming. And this was kind of part of telling that story.
I think that's an awesome message that a lot of people can relate to. Everyone has dreams, no matter how young or old you are. And I know you recently celebrated 20 years since you first signed your first record deal, which is incredible. Looking back on that day 20 years ago, would you ever have thought of how far you've made it and how successful of a career you've had, but also you're also, so much more to come for you?
Um, yeah, I think like all of us, really, I'm no different than anyone else. And I notice that we all kind of live, you know, and we say we don't, but a lot of us really do live in the moment and live day to day, and we don't. And so, what I guess what I'm saying with that is, I never thought of myself 20 years down the road, 20 years ago. I thought about, hey, what's next year look like? What's next week look like? Can I pay my rent? Um, and all of a sudden, life happens. I went from a single guy to being married and then having going through a divorce, having children. I mean, I've gone through life's gamut of things, which I thought was an important time in my life to like tell that story in my music. Um, and so, yeah, I think time definitely flies, and it's about, I think for me at this point in my life, it's definitely like reflecting on where I've been, and then also knowing where I want to go and accepting kind of where I am.
Yeah, and I think that all kind of ties into your album, obviously the name of the album as well. And what is most special about this album? I mean, obviously you come out with new music all the time, but what makes this album special?
Um, well, every album I've made prior to this album, I've been on a record label, major record label RCA, and then I went over to Big Loud, and had a lot of success. And this was kind of my first chance to do something um, on my own and self-promoting it with my team. So I think that's what makes it special is that we have a passion for what we're doing and and knowing that we put everything we could behind it and put it out there, it's what it's the best we could do. And I think that's what makes it to me more special than maybe some of the other albums I've had. But I think everyone you make, it's like a child. Every one of them's special. You don't love any one of them more than the other, but you can be drawn to any of them due to certain characteristics.
That's awesome. And I know obviously you're coming here to Chattanooga March 6th. Can you kind of talk about I know you've been to Chattanooga before. You're very familiar with Tennessee, obviously. What are you excited about to come to Chattanooga and, see the fans here?
Well, I I love playing anywhere in the South. And Tennessee's a musical, the heritage of Tennessee's, and Tennessee music, country music, and just music of the South. I think is something I grew up listening to, um, and I know that there's just a massive appreciation for good quality music, and so anytime I get the opportunity to play in the South, Florida, where I'm from, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, the Carolinas. Um, it's always something I look forward to, and I always feel very welcome there. And I think this music will play very well um, for what we're doing in this setup, and kind of it makes me excited to do that.
I know we have a lot of people excited for you to come to Chattanooga, so that's awesome to hear. What can your fans expect from your concert?
Well, I don't think they can really expect uh, probably anything that they are expecting. This really is a tour I'm excited about, like breaking some things down. That's why we're doing the smaller, intimate, more intimate venues. I'm playing mostly this new album, and I was excited to play it for people that like really wanted to hear it. I'll definitely touch on some of my other songs, but I've been really, really excited to dial in with this new album and let people just kind of see a different side of me, which is what the Dreams to Dream song says in the first track and what it's all about. And so uh, I kind of had to let go of my fears of not wanting to chase a dream, which is this, and just go do it. So that's what we're doing. That's what you can expect.
That's incredible. And how do those, like smaller, intimate venues kind of help connect with your fans on a different level than, huge places?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I grew up when I first started playing music. I was just on a bar stool in uh, Tallahassee, Florida, and I was playing for anyone and everyone that would listen, and connecting one by one from a smaller level is, I think, something that's really beneficial to any artist. But I know for myself, it was something that I really enjoyed. Well, I remember there were days where I'd play and it was just a bartender and maybe one or two other people, and they were definitely not there to see me play. But that was my audience. And so it was my goal at the end of the day to win over those two people. And then next thing you know, two people turned into 20 and 20 turned into 100. And all these years later, there's a lot of people that I've been really, grateful that they've listened to my music for a long time. And so I connect better just kind of at smaller level. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll always love playing a larger venue, but I feel like in these type of venues that are smaller and more intimate, you can feel that and you can feel more connected to the person that's playing. And I'm excited to kind of to join in that.
That's awesome. Like I said, you have a lot of fans here ready for you to come to Chattanooga. Is there anything else you kind of wanted to touch on with this tour, your new album, um, or anything related that I might have not asked about?
No, I've other than I've been really grateful to come to Chattanooga area, quite a bit since the inception of my career. And I played in Riverbend, and I've really enjoyed, thankfully radio over there for a long time. US 101 has been really great to me. So I'm excited to just get over there and play some new music for everybody. And I'm really grateful too as well for your time today. And thanks for talking to me this morning.
Well, we appreciate your time as well. I know, like I said, you've had a crazy schedule. I'm going to stop recording.